Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amandeep Singh, and I'm back on our social media page, our Facebook, with another Facebook Live with one of a very important and renowned partner of PyramideServices, and this time from a different country, that is Germany. I have Miss Leila Irfan, who is the Senior Business Development Manager at University of Applied Sciences Europe. It's a renowned university. It's one of the top 10 private universities of Germany. We have been working with this university and with Miss Leila Irfan from quite some time, and it has been a pleasure to work with her, with the university, and I would not be the one who would introduce the university to you. I would request Leila if you can just, introduce yourself to the viewers, and also if you can brief us about the university, that is, the history, the USPs, the programs, and the locations as well, because I know that there are, few specific locations which are really, really well known and popular. All over to you, Leila.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you very much to PyramideServices to give us the opportunity to present our programs today. And yes, we are partnering with you for a long time now. We have many students from you already on campus in Germany, and you have visited our campus yourself, so you know exactly how it looks like and how the life in Germany is. And yes, we are a University of Applied Sciences. We offer bachelor and master programs in 3 different faculties. One is Business and Management Studies, the other one Art and Design, and then Sports and Event Management. We also offer the Studienkolleg, which is the foundation program which students need in order to be able to then apply for a government university. And we are a state accredited institution. We have all the relevant program and industry accreditation and also the German state accreditation. So students will get a globally recognized German degree with us. We have 3 campuses. Our most international campus is in Berlin. And then we have another campus in Hamburg. Hamburg is the 2nd largest city in Germany. It's in the north of Germany. And we have our 3rd campus where we offer the Studienkolleg, the foundation year, which is in Iserlohn. Iserlohn is more in central West Germany.
Okay. So absolutely, like you said, I have myself visited the campus. I have seen how it is, how big it is, how beautiful it is. It's in the prime location of Berlin, and the life in Germany is really amazing. So take it from me, all the viewers who are watching, yes, it is really an amazing campus. So Leila, talking about the programs, there is a misconception in the students from the standpoint of, knowing the language if they have to study at a German private university, and also how they would attain an opportunity for future, jobs, I would say, career opportunities, not just in Germany, obviously across the globe. So could you help us out to understand the best programs which university provides for the Indian students, and also how these programs are industry relevant, and how, students can get better job opportunities with them?
Of course. I mean, in regards to the language that you mentioned, our programs are completely taught in English. We do have German taught programs as well, which means we have a lot of German students at our university. But then I think for Indian students, the English taught programs are more relevant. And we have our most popular programs, the Bachelor in Business and Management Studies, and then Digital Business and Data Science. And in our Masters, we have the most popular program, which is Corporate Management. Nonetheless, all our programs, such as Sports and Event Management, Game Design, Communication Design, Finance Management, all of them are industry relevant because all our professors are actually from the industry, and we focus very much on employability of our students. So the bachelor students have integrated mandatory internships during their studies. They do get credit points for those internships as well. We have many company collaborations through our professors, through our career center. Let me just mention some names: Adidas, Nike, PwC, Siemens, Twitter, TikTok. So I could go on and on. We have many places where students can get work experience, apprentice experience throughout their studies. We do have certain programs where there are real life projects with companies embedded in their studies as well. And our career center is excellent. And actually 93% of our business graduates already find a job that is related to their field within 6 months after graduation. And in Germany, you can stay back for 1.5 years. And in those 1.5 years, you need to find a job that is related to your field. And you can take any job that you like afterwards, but in order to then extend it to a work permit, you need a job that is relevant to your studies. So this is a very good percentage, and this is what we focus on, because we want our students to have a good quality degree, which is globally recognized, so they can work in any country with our degree, but also obviously to find a good job afterwards in Germany if they wish to stay there.
That's really great and a helpful information, Leila. So if I talk about the programs, you have already clarified that, the programs are taught in English, but when a student is thinking about education in Germany, he also thinks from a prospect of, when he's living over there, when he's trying to find a part-time job over there, he has to be aware of the language, as German language is more prominent, and more percentage of the population speaks the language. So could you help us out to understand how the university is helping the students in this matter, like in terms of classes in German or anything like that?
So in our foundation year, the Studienkolleg, German language is integrated, so that is a part of it. But for our bachelor and master programs that are taught fully in English, it's not mandatory. In the second semester, our students can choose to study German with us. It's free of cost, but it's very basic. So I come from a teaching background, so I was a German teacher in the past, and usually the students will be at that level after having lived in Germany for half a year already anyway. And in Berlin and in Hamburg, it's very international. Both cities are multicultural, so students can get a part-time job in English as well, and they do get along only knowing English. Nonetheless, afterwards, in order to find a good full-time job related to their field, I highly recommend them to learn German during their studies. But they have enough time for this. So our shortest master program is for 1 year, and then they have the 1.5 year stay back. So it's 2.5 years where they have actually time to learn the language. And if they put a little bit of effort in it, 6 to 9 months, and then they can be at a conversational level in German easily.
Right. Thank you so much. So what you're saying is it's not tough to find a part-time job while you are, having your education in Germany, and you're not much well versed with the language. But like you said, absolutely, it is important when you are living in Germany for a good 1.5 years, and then you have a stay back as well. So you have to learn the language, as it will help to further the career experience and the life in Germany if a student wants to, have a future in Germany. Absolutely right. So Leila, one burning question that's always there, which students talk about, that they are keen to study in Germany, but I hope you understand the difference between the value of money in terms of euro and rupee always generates the worry in the mind of a student and the parents,
of course.
Right? So could you help us to know about the fee structure, and also if you can add on to it about the scholarship opportunities and the concept of commitment fee that University of Applied Sciences accepts. So if you can talk about these three parts, that would be great.
Yeah. So the fee structure, it depends on the program, and it's between 10,400 euros and 14,500 euros per year. So it really depends on the program they choose. And currently we have a scholarship available of up to 20% on the first year tuition fee. That depends on the time an application is being handed in. That depends on the campus and also on the program. So we have up to 20% off the first year tuition fee. Nonetheless, afterwards, students can apply for our academic scholarships, which are available for students that are already on campus. And those are then obviously a bit more competitive with other students, but we do have that available after the first year. And the tuition fee can be paid in installments. So basically, in order to secure the place and to get all relevant documents that they need for a visa, they need to pay a deposit of 3,000 euros. And those 3,000 euros are fully refundable, only a deduction of 150 euros administrative fee in case of visa refusal. So otherwise they get it back, and then they need to pay the remaining first semester fee just before they start the first semester. And then our year has 2 semesters, so they can pay each semester, so every 6 months in installments.
That's great. And could you talk about the commitment fees as well, like the amount that student can pay and then process his application accordingly?
Oh, there is no application fee.
No, I was talking about the commitment fee. That is, a student can pay 1,000 euros or 2,000 euros in the beginning to proceed with the application, and once attains the visa, later can apply pay the remaining fee.
Okay, for now it's back to 3,000 because we're coming very close to the semester start date. So the deposit is 3,000 euros.
Perfect. Thank you so much on sharing these things. I hope just to take a brief break and a small message to all the students who and the parents who are watching us. I hope you are able to understand all the points in terms of scholarship opportunities and the programs available. Sometimes it is unable to answer the questions while being on the live session. So what I would request is you make sure you put your queries in the chat box, and my colleague who is right now available with me would be replying to your questions simultaneously on as soon as possible. All right. So Leila, moving ahead, programs understandable, English language understandable, right? The fee structure and the scholarship opportunities are there. That's great. But another factor which always is actually the most important factor, that is the admissions requirement. So based on the program, could you share like what UE is looking at a student as a candidate, that from the standpoint of academics, from the standpoint of IELTS, or language, because sometimes students also think that they do need to know basic language to study in Germany. So could you talk about these factors as well?
So in regards to language, they do not need to know German before they travel. It's just a personal recommendation from me that they could start a little bit, or maybe on Duolingo online, so they know some words. In regards to IELTS requirements, our undergraduate students need an overall academic IELTS of 5.5, and for our master students, it's 6.0. Nonetheless, we do accept medium of instruction letter from their university or from their school. So if they have studied fully in English and are at a B2 level, and they can show us a letter from their college or university, then we accept this as well. Additionally, they need to take an online test. It's called an EFZ test. It's 50 minutes, and it focuses on listening and reading. And this is a test free of cost, and it's only for the embassies as well. They would like to see that the students committed to take another test, but as I mentioned, it's free of cost. So we accept a medium of instruction letter with that free online test. Also, now due to the Corona situation, we accept the Duolingo test. That is absolutely fine. And obviously any equivalent to IELTS as well, TOEFL, PTE, etc. Yeah. Right. And then in regards to the percentage, they have to have 60% plus. If they are between 50 and 60%, there might be, it depends on the overall quality of the application. There might be an interview with a professor, or we will assess the application a little bit more in depth, or request additional documents or letter of recommendation. But yeah, 60% plus, and if it's a bit lower, 50% plus, then it's still fine. Gap years are acceptable. So that is absolutely fine. We just need an up-to-date CV that they can justify what they did in this gap time. And also backlogs are fine if they cleared everything. That is not a problem at all. And then depending on the program, so we have art and design programs. So sometimes there's a portfolio needed, which is not scary at all. We give great assistance. Our professors give great assistance. I know especially undergraduate students, sometimes they think, oh, I need to submit a portfolio, but I don't have anything. We give them time, explanations. It's not that difficult. And also for our business undergraduate students, there's an online test, which is a little bit of basic math and English and a bit of aptitude test. You can't really practice for it. It's more like an IQ test. So I think many people have taken an IQ test just for fun. So, you can't really practice for it. It's just to see how the student is. So that is a part of our bachelor undergraduate process as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing in detail about these things. And one solid point which I would retouch, which you shared, is that a student can also apply on the basis of an MOI, that's medium of instruction. So it gives a good opportunity for the students who, have not done IELTS, and specifically in these times where, these things are a little tough to do. So thank you so much, Leila, to explain these parts. So moving on to my next question. So I have few more questions lined up for you. I think the students would really like to hear about how Germany is dealing with the pandemic. We hear things in the news, but it would be great if you can tell us how Germany is, how things are. Is Germany open now? Could you share a bit on that?
Yeah, of course. So our campus will open again in September. So we have our next winter intake, which starts in September. The lectures start end of September, and there will be very likely to be a 50-50 solution. So 1 week, one part of the class will be on campus, and the next week they will be at home. So it will be 50-50. So social distancing can still be there, basically. Nonetheless, Germany, on a global scale, is doing really, really well. So compared to many other countries, Germany reacted really fast. And I think everyone knows that Germany had relatively high numbers at a certain stage, but they got it under control very, very fast. So the curve was flattening already. And now it's almost back to normal. So for example, a mask is mandatory when you take public transport, when you go into shops, and when you enter a restaurant, you have to wear a mask, but as soon as you sit on your table, you can take it off. And it's almost back to normal. People are back in the offices. Right now, the kids have summer vacation, but that ends next week. So all the children will go back to school. And generally, it's almost back to normal, I have to say. And also Germany is very strict. So if a certain district in Germany, if they see that the infection rate goes just a little bit up, then they will take measures immediately. So generally Germany has dealt with it very well. Germany has a great healthcare system. Everyone has a mandatory health insurance. So yeah, almost back to normal.
And I completely, believe what you said, that Germany is very strict in these things. And that's one of the reasons that Germany is one of the few countries who has been able to control it pretty well over the months. So that being said, Lela, because when we talk about the travel restrictions, so the country from where the students would be traveling, the situation over there would also matter. So there are two parts question. So one is that how is Germany looking at India right now? How is University of Applied Sciences looking at India right now? That based the current situation and figures in India, would the students be considered to travel or not? And secondly, if the student is not allowed to travel, how should they look at the online classes? What should be the mindset of the student? So could you help understand these 2 points?
In fact, we have many students who travel right now. So obviously the official semester start date is the 1st of September, although our classes start at the end of September. So now our students are traveling. We have many students who already travel to Germany from India. Another batch is traveling tomorrow. And then we have a few more at the end of next week. So that is fine. Students can travel and they can enter Germany. And we assist them in finding accommodation as well. So they have a place to stay, so they can request this with us. And also our aim is to be back on campus, because online studies, it's absolutely fine. It worked really, really well. But obviously we would like to be back on campus with all the students very soon. Nonetheless, the German embassies in India, they are at the moment only processing existing applications. So all our students who handed in their documents before the lockdown, they are being processed now. And we have great success. We get a lot of visas. A lot of students receive their visas in these days. And they hopefully, the German embassies in India will accept the visa applications, I hope by mid-August, but I'm not quite sure. So this is what I heard, that they might accept new applications then, even if it's a bit later and the student receives the visa after the intake already started, they can start online. They don't have to miss out. So let's say they get a visa appointment early October, they get the visa stamped in November. I recommend students to not necessarily defer, because as soon as they get the visa stamped, they can travel and they don't have to miss any classes, because we promise our students to provide online teaching for those who just can't secure a visa on time. But they don't need to wait another semester and lose another half a year and basically then just wait and do nothing in this time. So they can start, we help them, and as soon as they get the visa, they travel and they can come to campus.
Right. So when we talk about the online classes, so my apologies if I missed this part, but just to clarify this. So let's say a student is unable to travel, gets the appointment as well, but the visa result is not announced yet. So can the student start the online classes, or it is mandatory that he has to hold a visa only? Then only he can start?
No, actually for our March intake, the last intake, we've had many students who started online, and now they are just getting the visa. So we have all the documents ready for them, for the embassy, and all our students received a report of their exams, of the courses they took, so they can attach that to their visa application and they can just show it then, and then they got the visa and now they can travel because so those visa applications were not even processed, but they could already start online. Just in case there's a visa refusal, obviously we refund the tuition fees. So, but let's hope they don't get a refusal. So
absolutely, we are holding a very strong ratio. And it's not just in figures, but it's actually 100% when it comes to Germany visa. So we are hopeful that the student will not be at a stage of the refusal. And you've already touched base on the refund aspect. But could you just help me to know, would there be any deduction, or would it be same as that of the policy that you shared earlier, or should we expect full refund or some amount would be deducted?
It's only 150 euros administrative fee that will be deducted. The rest is fully refundable.
Perfect. That's great. So how is college supporting students in terms of online classes? Is there any special support given to the students in that case?
Yeah, I mean, our professors reacted really fast. They completely changed their teaching strategy, and we teach with Microsoft Teams. So all and CampusNet is our internal network for students. So all materials will always be uploaded there. All the study material is uploaded there. So students can always revise everything. They can study for their exams. There are group tasks available. There are lectures that are delivered online. So yeah, everything is online, and the professors are actually really, really great. Gave very much individual support for the students. Also, our student service team is there to help students, and then we are there as well. So we supported the students too whenever there was any technical issues, etc. We have an IT department, so any kind of technical issues, we support our students.
That's very, very supportive of the university, and we being the old partners, we know that University of Applied Sciences is a student-centric university, so we completely agree that, and we completely are confident and would tell the students also that university is going to make sure that all the support is provided to the students.
Yeah.
So one of my last questions, Lala, though you have told about the current scenario with Germany and with the embassy, and you told that talked about the appointments as well. So as someone who is in Germany and is dealing with this whole system of international education, so any idea when should we expect the new applications would be getting appointment? Any specific date that you have heard of?
Yeah, mid-August. So between the 13th and 18th of August, sometime like that. But I can't really confirm it because ultimately this is out of our hands. It's a government decision, obviously.
Right.
But can't take too long anymore because they started processing all the pending applications. So I think there was just a pile of work at the embassies, and they needed to process all the existing applications, which are now getting their visa stamped, and now the students obviously can travel. So we are really hoping to see a positive development in August still. But as I mentioned, if it's a bit later, we will broadcast all lectures, we will teach online, so students can start at the end of September, and even if the visa interview date or the stamping date is a little bit later, they don't have to miss any class.
Perfect. Thank you so much on giving that information, Ian. You are absolutely right that it's in nobody's hands. It's just that it's all the decision makers at the embassy and Germany would decide how they would proceed with it. One of my last question would be that the students who start their education, let's say online, and don't have a visa yet, right? There can be two scenarios. God forbid there is a refusal situation, which we are pretty confident would not be there. But if in case there is, you have already explained that part, how things would be taken care of. But when the student is studying online in India, how would the payback option for a student be impacted? Would there be any change, or the student is still eligible for 18 months stay back?
Yes, no change in that. They get the stay back of 1.5 years.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
And is there any specific timeline that the student has to reach Germany before a particular date, or the student has to make sure a particular amount of education is attained in India and then in Germany only, then it would be there?
No. So as soon as, because they can start online, and as soon as they get their visa, they can travel. And then we will provide the student with the necessary document that they need for immigration, at the airport, for the embassy. So they will have everything. So there's no issue at all. And we want them to come to Germany, right? Obviously, online studies is not really what the students are looking for. I think the students want to travel, they want to study in Germany, and we want the students on campus. So the online option is just now to make sure that they can start, although the visa might be stamped a little bit later. Also, we are planning to keep this option for the students for any kind of future intake, because sometimes we struggled a little bit with the visa appointment dates. So the German embassy was a little bit slow, and then our students had to defer, although they didn't want to defer. So we will keep the option. We will teach between 4 to 8 weeks. This is going to be decided after the corona situation is better, because now we do keep teaching online. We will give this service to all our students, because sometimes they just get the visa 1 month too late, and then they have to defer. So for those students, we will deliver the first weeks online as well, and on campus. So all those students can always join us afterwards, because the visa situation was so difficult. Yeah, we don't want students to defer. We want them to travel and not lose half a year just because of a short delay.
Thank you so much. So one of my last request, not a question, any parting advice for the students who are listening to us? Any input? Because parents are a little worried about the spending. Everybody is impacted financially. It's me, you, or anybody around us, right? So any advice for the students and the parents that you have?
Yeah. So generally, I can just say that that now globally, everyone could see that Germany is dealing with the situation really well. Not only healthcare and the availability of a good service for people who actually got sick and the recovery rate, but also in regards to social security system and the most supportive government. So even international students who are most of the times not eligible to apply for an additional loan in Germany, they have to apply for a tuition fee loan in India. The German government gave interest-free loans of up to 650 euros to international students, because it was a bit difficult to find a part-time job. And then they even had an emergency grant of 500 euros, which international students did not have to pay back. So they can pay the rent and basic living costs. And this just shows that Germany as a country takes care of everyone who lives there, not only of their citizens, but also for everyone, for all the international students. And I think this gives huge security to parents as well, because you want to send off your child to a safe country. So when you look at different other countries, it wasn't like this. So I think the German government took care of everything really well. And also with our blended learning now, that we give the students the opportunity to start online in case the visa comes too late. No one needs to basically not do anything. Everyone can continue with their plans, with their education, so they don't lose time, they don't have a gap in their CV, and this is what we can offer them. This is how we help them. And I can just encourage everyone to apply for Germany, because it's just a great country to study and to live in.
Absolutely, it's a great country to study and live in. And somebody who has personally experienced the life in Germany, I completely agree with you. And with that, I would say a big thank you, Leila. Thank you so much for taking the time out from your regular busy life these days. And it's very kind of you to come over on Facebook Live with us and sharing this important information about the university and about how Germany is dealing with the current pandemic as well. And we are always honored to speak to you, and thank you for this session again. And to all the viewers who are watching us, if you have any query about the university, about the process, about the eligibility, how to apply at the university, you can always contact PyramideServices at the nearby office. We are keeping in mind the social distancing and all the pandemic norms that have been applied from the state and the central government. So we are making sure that your safety is a priority when you visit, as we are going with the appointment-based concept as well. Or you can call us on the number shared below. We'll be able to help you out with that as well. And you can speak to us through Facebook as well. Anytime you message us, our team is available 24/7 to help you out. So with that, thank you so much for watching us, and thank you so much, Leila Irfan, once again for this amazing interaction and valuable information. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone.